Well, good morning. This is Houndog Steve wishing you a very pleasant morning. I hope this finds you well. And I'd like to talk a little bit about Jordan Peterson. And I don't know if you've seen this recent story about Jordan, but he is now being told that if he doesn't go to a re-education centre, which he has to pay for out of his own pocket, by the way, he will lose his license to practice as a psychologist. And this is from the Ontario College of Psychologists. And it's over some political tweets that Jordan Peterson made with Pierre Poilievre, the Conservative candidate. And he is now being called upon to be re-educated because he engaged in wrongthink. And this is right out of 1984. This is Winston going for his re-education, and it will be, how many fingers, Winston? 4 or 5? How many fingers? This is so draconian. This is so out of the communist playbook, how they dealt with people who didn't fit into the micro ideology, the tiny, tiny box, and the echo chamber that these people reside in. And we're seeing this everywhere. It doesn't matter whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Facebook, on Twitter. Well, Twitter has improved somewhat lately, but Google, all of your searches, we are all being re-educated here because we're all engaging in wrongthink, apparently. Now, if you have any other opinion that steps outside of that tiny little echo chamber, oh my God, off you go. Didn't we hear all of this happening with the Uyghurs and human rights? Isn't this what people are standing up and shouting about in China? Isn't this what happened in Russia with the kangaroo courts during the Stalinist era, where you could be sent off to a gulag for any kind of statement because it was flavour of the day? And that's what will happen, whether you seem to agree with what the college of psychologists are doing or not. It won't matter, because sooner or later you will get caught up in that same flavour of the day roundup, because these ideologies never expand. Well, they expand their reach, but they never expand their thinking. In fact, their thinking contracts and becomes more and more draconian. And I'm surprised that we have got to this right. This is right out of the gate. This is right in your face, and it is front page news. Okay, so let's just go and read that story, and we'll come back and I'll do a quick wrap up. Okie dokie, here we go. Okay, here we go from Russia Today. Jordan Peterson threatened over political tweets. The psychologist says an Ontario regulator wants him to undergo re-education or lose his license. Canadian psychologist Jordan Peterson said on Tuesday that he may lose his license unless he submits to mandatory social media communication retraining by the College of Psychologists of Ontario, his home province's licensing authority. I face public disgrace, mandatory political re-education, disciplinary hearing, and potential loss of my clinical licensing for agreeing with Conservative MP Pierre Poilievre and criticising our standing Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, Peterson said on Twitter. According to Peterson, about a dozen people from all over the world submitted complaints to the CPO alleging his views and comments harmed people. None of them were actual clients of his, but lied about it so their complaints would be accepted, he added. The CPO demands that Peterson undergo the retraining and submits progress reports or face an impersonal tribunal and suspension of his license to operate as a clinical psychologist. If I comply, the terms of my re-education and my punishment will be announced publicly, he said. Canadians, your physicians, lawyers, psychologists and other professionals are now so intimidated by their commissar overlords that they fear to tell you the truth. This means that your care and legal counsel has been rendered dangerously unreliable, Peterson tweeted. So true. Peterson was reinstated on Twitter in November after Elon Musk bought the company and reversed many prior bans that he thought unjust. He had been locked out of his account in July 2022 for refusing to use a transgender actor's new name and pronouns. On December 27th, Peterson tweeted that Trudeau appears to me to be perpetually 14 years old, referring to the concept of psychological age in his field of expertise. The psychologist first gained national and international attention in 2016 when he was subjected to similar re-education pressure over his criticism of a bill that declared gender identity and expression to be protected categories. More recently, he has denounced the totalitarian lockdowns and inoculation mandates embraced by many countries, including Canada, in the response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, just as an addendum to this, the Ontario College of Physicians and Surgeons has recently come out and stated that if you have a hesitancy for a particular inoculation that's been going around for the past couple of years, you have a mental illness. So you can see very quickly how this is going to go from people like Jordan Peterson right the way down to people like you and I. When you express an opinion, no matter how fact-based that opinion is, or however much right you have to an independent opinion in a democratic society, you will be deemed to have a mental illness and all of the ensuing baggage that comes along with that epitaph. Okay, this is so dangerous, and we have to speak out about this as much as possible. Spread these stories, share this video. Let's get this out here. I hope that Jordan Peterson is now big enough, and I don't care whether you agree with Jordan Peterson or not. I don't agree 100% with Jordan on some of the things that he says. However, in general, I think he has a good heart. I think he's well-meaning, and he speaks the truth. Moreover, he is more than willing and prepared to have his mind changed if you present other evidence, and that to me is a sign of a very, very intelligent person. And if you watch some of his interviews on YouTube, unbelievable, the depth and the quality of thinking. If you want to learn how to think, if you want to learn how to organize your mind, go and watch Jordan Peterson interview some of these incredible top of the line scientists, academics, thinkers. Unbelievable variety of topics, all of the things that are relevant today, and yes, very, very impressive. But I hope you're all getting the picture now that this is where we're going. This is not going to stop. We're all going to fall under this blanket sooner or later, and it doesn't matter. The flavor of the day will change, and all of a sudden a tweet will be brought up from 10 years ago that you made when you were a different person, maybe less wise, and it'll be thrown in your face, and there'll be no forgiveness. That's what the scary thing is about these people, is there's no forgiveness, and they don't realize that they have made as many mistakes as all of us, because we're all human at the end of the day, and humans are frail and weak creatures, and we will continue to make errors. As we rectify the errors that we've already made, we will continue to make errors, because that's how learning comes about. Was it a friend said to me, the path to wisdom is paved with wreckage. So there you go. If you look back on your life and you see wreckage, you're probably pretty wise. Anyway, please speak up about this, share this video, let's get this story out there. This has to stop. None of us want to lead this kind of life or live in this kind of society. Okay, so if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe below. And in the meantime, this is Houndog Steve wishing you a very pleasant morning, and we'll talk very shortly. You take care now. See ya. Bye.